In this video, we're going to check out Transformers Alternators SKIDS, rip him from his packaging, and check out the amazing alt mode. Probably talk about a few things we shouldn't, and then of course we're going to compare him to some other amazing figures. Let's go. So I went ahead and asked you all in a post, should I open this Protoform Starscream that I picked up this weekend? I know he suffers pretty heavily from gold plastic syndrome, so I didn't really want to open him up and break him immediately, but I also hate leaving these guys in their packaging. So anyway, I put it to a post, I put it to you guys, and I asked, and it seems like the bulk of you said I should leave him in the packaging. So I'm going to do that for now. I'm going to leave him here for now, but man, I got to tell you, I hate leaving him in there, and I really want to mess around with this thing. Even if he will probably break, although I have a lot of hubris, I believe I could probably transform him once or twice without him disintegrating into 100 pieces, but probably not. But anyway, for now, I'm going to keep him safe and sound in the box, and that's fine. So instead, another thing I picked up this weekend is Transformers Alternators Scion XB Autobot Skids. Now, I've been kind of intrigued by the Alternators line for a while now. They started in 2003, and I was overseas at the time, and I wasn't really tracking Transformers stuff very much, other than, maybe sort of the main lines. I had a general idea what was going on. But there was a lot of stuff happening in those years when I was busy living life and adulting and doing other things. And one of those was alternators. And it was a pretty interesting line. The idea was 1/24 scale actual representations of real life vehicles, hot vehicles at the time perhaps. And then it seems like they would work on making a really cool, like proper model car version of a Transformer with opening doors and seats and all that kind of stuff, and sort of make it work with whatever robot they could come up with. I think they were originally going to start out with Jazz, but they had an issue with licensing with Porsche. Then they moved on to some other characters, but they stuck mostly with these G1 type characters that people knew and loved, and I think where they could, characters that did traditionally transform into cars, and Skids would have been one of those. And I believe the Japanese version of Skids was closer to the blue look he had in G1, but this version we got in the States is, a little darker blue with the flames, which I kind of prefer just because he looks really cool. I know he's hard to see. We're going to get him out of this packaging. He's hard to see. But yeah, I dig alternators. I've had this Ford Mustang Grimlock for a while, which of course at some point they gave up on the Autobots that mostly turning into cars, and they switched it out a bit, and they had really weird ones like Grimlock. And I've done some videos on, I did a video on him, I did a review of him and some shorts of him. And yeah, it's very bizarre that he turns into Grimlock, but please watch those videos because I think this is a really cool one too. But if it is a bit of a nightmare to transform, but I think that was kind of the case for a lot of these. I'm not bringing them out right now, but I also have Alternators Prime, although if you watch my other video, it's not actually Alternator Prime. It's Kiss Players Convoy, and we don't talk about it right, so I won't say much more than that. He's super complex too, very annoying to transform, but he's actually a fun figure. But anyway, this I think I purchased new. This box is beat to hell and back, but I think it's brand new. I don't want to waste too much time, so we're going to get in here. I'm going to shut up for a minute because I'm definitely going to speed this up and edit this just until we get him out of the box. As you can see, I tried to be as gentle as I could be. I have Grimlock where he can go back in the box because they're kind of fun to display because they're such an interesting bit of history from the line, but we'll see. I think I can maintain the integrity of this packaging for the most part, but anyway, let's get him out. Okay, he feels pretty solid. I don't think, his successor, I think, is an engine part that turns, removable engine becomes a weapon. So, as you can see here, removable engine becomes a weapon. You can see he's got proper seats and a steering wheel inside the car. That's kind of the magic of these alternators. So anyway, let's get a look at him. Okay, so he's a Scion XB. And he sort of resembles, decently enough, what the G1 Skids would have been a blue. I think it's a Honda, right? Am I wrong? I'll correct myself if I'm wrong. But anyway, in this case, he's a Scion, which was fairly hot at the time, I suppose. And as you can see, we can't open the doors. I don't know the full transformation process on this guy. And I don't really think. I want to just try and guess. Although I don't think he's going to be as complicated as some of the even Grimlock and certainly not Convoy.
You sure about that?
Which again, they're not super complicated. They're
You
just
sure about that?
awkward to transform, and things are. This is a tough, hard plastic. The tires are actually rubber, which is nice. But yeah, I don't think it's as forgiving a plastic, so you don't want to be pushing and pulling too much unless you know exactly what you're doing. So we're going to do a bit of research, and we'll get him transformed. But first, let's just look again at the alt mode we have here. If we can get the door back in there. So you can see on the front, we would have the Scion symbol right here. This is fully licensed. You've got the grille and the headlights with the clear plastic. Those just look great. You can even see the yellow lights, the turn signals. Everything about this just looks really good. The front bumper, Scion across the top here. They really love their branding on this one. It's a very boxy car. It's definitely not my style, but you know, it was a thing for a while. I don't know if they're still around or not. I don't think they are. So we have back seats too, and I think, can we open the back doors? Let's see. How does it open? I don't like the feel of that at all, but we definitely have you can see the back seats in there as well. You open the doors. The flames, of course, are incredible. I think on the Japanese version, it was a lighter blue, but it came with stickers that you could put flames and things like that on it, which is kind of a nice touch. There's the Scion symbol in the back there. You've got the clear windows all the way around, which I just absolutely love. I mean, this is just a really good-looking model car, and the body kind of hides underneath decently well, too. I mean, this is kind of a real standard alternators look, the silver and the primary colors, and I don't know, just they've got kind of their own vibe for sure. Everything has to kind of hide underneath while they've got the seats and everything going for that realism on top. Let's even get a closer look at the inside of this. Okay, so we can see inside there, the detailing on the seats is actually pretty incredible. You've got the steering wheel there. I think I remember from the ads, Scion loved its the stereo they had in there, and I think you even have some detailing on that. Look at that. I mean, I'm sorry, but that is really impressive. So you've got the knobs, your air conditioning knobs in there. You've got the stereo. It's just really incredible, the details on the inside. Your glove compartment. Check out the detailing on the doors, the door handles. These are just too cool in my opinion, because they sort of fully complete the magic of it being a Transformer being two very real things at once. It's not failing at one thing but doing okay at the other. Or if they do that, they tend to fail most often at the alt modes. You know, you just don't get this kind of detail. Okay, once again, I think we can open these back doors. It's just a matter of grabbing them in the right spot there, because they kind of pull from the top. Oh, there we go. Okay, that's too cool. That's too cool. But definitely be careful flipping these out. Okay, there we go. So the doors are open, and you can see the back seats in there as well. We can get Again, the attention to detail is just so good. These are not, and by the way, these are not super expensive vehicles. And also, by the way, this Skids, remember, is not really this Skids. This is G1 Skids, who was a blue Honda. This is, of course, Revenge of the Fallen Skids, who is also, I think, an absolutely great figure. If not, very definitely a different character for sure. You can see mine's got, oh my God, what's her face in there? Megan Fox. I'm forgetting her. Excuse me for forgetting her actual name in the movie. It's been a long day. And we're not going to... Never mind. Anyway, the cool thing about this and this Skids as well, this figure kind of, as I understand, I think this kind of grew out of the idea of the Alternators line. These Human Alliance figures that came out, they had, I think I have another one sitting around here somewhere. I do, actually. Here we have Human Alliance Leadfoot, which was, by the way, the other thing I picked up. We'll do a video on him later, but the cool thing about these Human Alliance figures, they were sort of the successors to the Alternators line because they had seats, you could sit characters in them, and that was all pretty cool. So we can grab her out of here. We're going to leave what's-her-face in there. And we can stick her right in here. And she could be in here driving. And it's Michaela, of course. That's her name in the movie, Michaela. Who many folks say was the true hero of the first Transformers movie. So I suppose that's somewhat debatable, but regardless. Anyway, one of the super cool features of the Alternators line. And I have to say, I just really love that detail in this alt mode. And I wanted to keep this video fairly short, but look at the back. Look in the back window. You can see the seats, and I love this very clear plastic. Honestly, when this was in the box, I didn't think I would like it as much as I do. I mean, don't get me wrong, the Scion is a pretty ugly car, but the figure, the alt mode for Skids here, I love it. I think it looks really cool. I think it's just an impressive model of a figure. So anyway, we're going to do a first-time transformation on this guy, which means there'll probably be pauses as I look through the instructions and make sure I get it right. But we'll have it here, and I might do a little dub over it, and then we'll look at his robot mode. Of course, we're going to do a dub over this part because it was a little tricky and I had to take a lot of breaks, and I don't want you to have to watch all of that. But of course, for transformation, you're going to start with opening those doors up, and then you're going to pull the top apart, and then you just got to use this sort of double hinge to fold the top over like that. Once you have that done, you can pull the bumpers down on the back. Those are ultimately going to make the shins on the legs. Then you can split the legs apart, and then you can actually pull them down to extend the legs. Do that on each side of them. The next step would be to push the back seats down, and then push the feet down 2 clicks, and then fold them out. You're going to want to do that on both sides, and then you'll have feet kind of where you want them to be. And then at that point, you can fold out the heels, the much appreciated heels on either side of the feet, and then fold down the doors on either side, and they will slide down. The panels will slide down a little bit as well, so do that on either side. Once you've done that, you pretty much have the legs done. Now you can pull the hood away from the windshield and then twist the windshield all the way around. And once you've done that, then you can fold that piece back like that and get that out of the way. And then you can fold those front seats down. You can also remove them, but we'll show that a bit later. Next, you want to pull his head back and out of the way, and then you want to fold the arms out from underneath the hood of the front of the vehicle. Just fold them out on either side, and that's when the engine piece fell out, and so I went ahead and set that to the side. That's going to be the weapon. So then you pull out the other arm, and you just kind of need to twist them up and out of the way, and then you can start putting them in place. Then you want to flatten the hood down towards his chest, and there's sort of a tab that the plate of the head will rest on that tab. And once you've done that, you can reposition the arms a little bit, and then you want to pull the doors up to make kind of the wings of Skids. This last part is great. You fold the windshield forward, and then the top of, I think that's the seats, right? Snap into place on the hood, and that holds everything together, and he just looks great. Okay, so that wasn't exactly for the faint of heart, to be sure, but it's also probably not the worst. I'm sure it's not the worst transformation for alternators. I'm sure it's somewhere in the middle. But the result, I have to say, is a pretty cool looking robot. I really like his robot mode. You can see here that some things that are kind of nice is the back part. When you bring it forward, the seats clip into the hood to kind of hold this all together. And that does a really good job. You can see his profile here is not too bad, especially for an alternator. I want to show also, you see, so these unfortunately would be nice if these windows folded around to the side, but I don't think they do. I'm certainly not going to apply pressure to make them do that. But one thing you can do in this form is just remove the seats entirely. I think if I'm correct, you have to slide them up. There we go. And so we can remove the seats, and that will give him a better profile. Again, I wish the windshields down here would close up, but that gives him a bit of a better profile there, as you can see on the back. That's kind of nice. So that's an option. You don't have to take them out, but that helps the look quite a bit. And I have to say, even though he definitely feels a little top heavy, they did give him nice heels on the feet, so he tends to stand pretty well once you maneuver him around a little bit. And of course, you can take this part of his engine block and turn it into a weapon in very Alternators form. And he does have articulated fingers, so you can stick that in his hand, and he's got a fun little gun there. So he's got a weapon. And I have to say, yeah, I'm actually, this is less of a review and a first look, you discovering this with me, but I like him. I'm sure there's something I've not done quite right. Folks love telling me what I've transformed wrong. Feel free to tell me if I've transformed something wrong. I'll take the tips as long as you're not an actually sort of person about it. I think the arms are the right way. They could be different, but I like that he has articulated fingers. That's pretty good. He actually does have knee bend, which is kind of impressive. The legs are still bulky, so I'm not sure too much what you're going to do with it. And of course, he has ankle tilt by the nature of this ball joint that his feet are on. So I think you could probably get him into some fairly decent poses. There's not going to be any waist swivel for sure. The head can look left and right and up and down a little bit, so that's fun. So yeah, I mean, he's, for being as bulky as he is and being from, I think, more like 2005, I believe, for the Alternators line, he's fairly posable. So yeah, I'm pretty impressed. I have to tell you, I just right here, right now, just messing around with this, I like him a lot more than I thought I would. This is a really cool Skids. I like him quite a bit. We can do a couple size comparisons real quick. Anyway, we've got this pretty cool deluxe class Jazz here. And we also have our Voyager class Starscream. You can see he's a pretty good size. Here he is next to the giant, amazing, please watch my Size Matters 3-part series on the Dark of the Moon Mech Tech leaders, the giant Ironhide, who doesn't even fit into this shot, but go watch that series. Love these leader class guys. Love these amazing gimmicks from this era. But anyway, so there he is. That's a quick look of Transformers Alternator Skids, the licensed Scion XB. And I have to say, actually, this is a really cool figure. I'm glad I picked him up. I picked him up at a great little toy shop, by the way. Shout out to LT Toys in Columbia, South Carolina. If you're ever in the area, you have to hit these guys up. They have the largest Transformers collection I've ever seen. That's where I picked up this guy. That's where I picked up my MechTech Dark of the Moon Leadfoot. Picked up a couple other fun things there too. And I'm definitely going back to buy more. Great toy shop. Excellent people. Excellent prices. But anyway, there you go. There he is. The amazing, incredible Transformers Alternators Skids. Thanks for watching.